Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the interior tour of my van just over a year after I sort of completed the interior finish. Obviously van conversions are never completed, we all know this. So what I'm going to do is just give you a tour, let you know how things are going on with everything that I've installed, just so you can have a shufty, a little bit of a poke around as well, see what's going on with the van. And yeah, if anything has changed, I shall point that out. Most things haven't, but a few things have. So let's get to it. So I'm changing from my post mounted table, which is kind of like a big circle, takes up a lot of room, which just means if you sat there, you're eating sideways facing. I've gone for a new work top table and this nomadic arc sort of table leg, which comes with this mounting kit. So much like there are other kits out there, sort of mount that on the side or something. What they've done here is give you these really big bolts and a back plate. So what they want you to do is drill 6 holes in the surface you're doing it, pass the bolt through, and then you're basically bolting this side of it, which is the mounting plate, and using that as a strengthening plate on the back. Now I've got 18mm ply, so I don't need to use a strengthening plate, but I wanted to point out that this nomadic arc is 75 quid, and there are some manufacturers out there with a different brand right now charging double that for this kit. So I got this worktop, which is cream on one side and then grey on the other side, like that. And I got that and this kit from Magnum Motorhomes. I'll put a link down in the video description down below. And there we go, that's it fitted. It actually is quite stronger than I thought. I've just put 2 screws in there for now as well. Obviously I'll tighten them all in and put bigger screws in there and everything. Use these to tighten it up and loosen it down. So you're simply just pulling it back off the spline, move it round, drop it back on the spline again, and then that allows you to move it around. And there we go, table finished off, and even put in its stow position as well. So that means I get a little bit more space up there back. Happy days, well chuffed with that. So one thing I do want to say about my flooring is that I stuck the PIR board down in the big sheets, and that is just Sikaflex down on the floor, and then I put 15mm ply on top of that, and that's just stuck down with Sikaflex on top of the PIR board, and then I've put my lino on top. So there's no sort of battens in there, it's not all like sort of fancy what some people have done, and that's been fine. It's never moved. You walk on it and you don't get any sort of like lumpy bumpy bits or anything like that. In the winter when it's cold, that's been fine. It's not let loads of cold through or anything. So yeah, quite impressed with that one. It was very easy. Not that I was aiming for easy, but I just didn't want to overcomplicate things, so that's worked out fine. In all fairness, not a lot has changed at the front of the van. So I've still got my Remis blinds, which have been absolutely fantastic. Not really made any modifications to the dash. In fact, I've removed the sat nav I was using, so I just use the normal stereo, and I have my phone over in that magnetic holder over there which charges it, and I use it as a sat nav and all that kind of stuff as well. There's my reverse camera. That's my 2-way radio, so I can keep in touch with friends and Mandy. Little camera mount up there. There's a camera mount on the dashboard there. Cables going around the place and that. and my 2 spinning front seats. So you can actually spin it the other way around like that, and it then turns into a sort of a longer bed. So we can turn that one that way as well. But yeah, it's nice space, easy for people, and certainly enough space for working, 2 of us eating, that kind of stuff as well. Now obviously I've left the original mount in the floor there for the old table. It's only screwed in, so I can just unscrew that and then get a new mat to put in there. I use mats basically because I can change them every year, but they don't look too bad in all fairness right now. They've been in there about a year. But yeah, just take them out and then 25 quid or so, you get some new mats and it all looks nice and fluffy again on the floor. It's very nice. So my upholstery on the seat and the bench seat, so both front seats and the bench seat, that was done from a friend, and that is working out really well. Everything is still, you know, stitched in and it's still lovely. And my diesel heater, that has been replaced. The new one's working out all right. My Solway panels, they are still working great all the way around the place. My Solway windows with the built-in fly blinds and blackout blinds, love them. And the windows still operate perfectly okay as well. So you get some nice airflow through the windows. That noise is because they're a bit tight. I should loosen them really before doing that. And my cupboards, these cupboard doors, again, I got them from Magnum Motorhomes. And as you know, I had all sorts of problems with hinges and that. So thank you, Craig, for suggesting these hinges. They've been brilliant, and everything now works okay. My cupboards are sort of forearm length, kind of deep. So they're nice deep cupboards, get all my stuff in there. The other Solway panel, which is across the top there, over the door. More Solway panels down there. Another Solway panel on the sliding door as well. So that's all good. Solway panel down the bottom there and across the kick plate. They've all been great. There's my Max fan, which is the deluxe version with the slightly smoked lid on there. Nice and efficient with moving the air. And I've got this cover on there as well, which has the light and the blind. Let's not call it a blackout blind, because as you can see, the light comes through. But I have a solution for that, which is this bit of foam that I made. That bit of foam just goes in there like that. Boom, and that does black it out. So that's how I get around that one. I think most of you will have seen that one anyway. So that just lives up there. My over cab storage area, sort of like shopping bags, little blanket in there as well. As far as the door, I always had a bit of a sliding door problem, trying to close the door. So I put this handle, extra handle on there. But what I used to do is that, and it just didn't close properly. There was always a gap down the bottom. So now with the handle, closes much easier and definitely closes solid. I did make a video about changing my fridge. The new fridge has been absolutely brilliant. The only thing that I've had to do is put that little thing over the light there, because at night it sort of shines and keeps me awake. But putting that over there, the job's a good one. If we just move the table out of the way, which fortunately I can do now, move my little Cooper pillow. Thank you, buddy. Sit there for a minute, mate. And under here is my storage. On this side I've got my shoe storage, and that's my shark hoover is in there as well. And on this side is where I put drinks, other bits and bobs, and over this side is my recovery equipment. And that space has been absolutely fantastic as well. Again, I've used thick board on there, so that's the entire thing is built out of 18mm ply. There are sockets here, CBE sockets. This is a PD100 CBE socket as well as a USB. I've got a 240 socket there, some more USBs and a 12-volt socket. I added that afterwards because I realised I wanted one and I couldn't be bothered doing more of the CBE sockets. So yeah, that's all done, and that allows me to direct the heat to the back of the van or the front of the van. Now, one thing obviously a lot of people did say was the vinyl wrap. How's that worked out? And as you can see, there's a lot of vinyl wrap. It's underneath the cupboards, it's down on the floor there. The kick plate on the floor has got vinyl wrap. It's on the back of the kitchen cupboard here with the drawers. And that was a brilliant way to finish surfaces off without painting them and get a really smooth, clean surface finish. Again, we've got vinyl wrap underneath, a nice light that's in there. And this is my sort of kitchen sink area. So I've got two 240 sockets there. So I can have two devices in to cook my tea and a 12-volt socket. And then I've also got some USB sockets down there, which are just out of the way. And then there's my sink, which is just a single cold water tap. If I want any hot water, I'll boil a kettle. But this is all working out for me really well. The amount of space I've got to put like cooking appliances, you know, like my cooking pot or my air fryer or anything else, all that space has worked out really well. Including the space down here as well. That's my original drawer. That's a John built drawer, which works fine. And I've then got my little bifold door. So that shows my water tank underneath there. There's my air fryer, another little cupboard for spares, and another cupboard for odds and sods. Like I said, I've not really filled any of this up really, because when I had this cupboard built, I had these drawers put in. So all my stuff goes in these drawers. So that's kind of like my kitchen area, all sorted out. And then this is my bathroom. My tambour door is still working perfectly nice. Got some more carpet offcut. And then inside, like I say, a few hooks up there for my hats. A few more hooks for coats I'm not using. A mirror. Hello. Nice little sign. Some more hooks, first aid kits. So all those pockets are actually shoe pockets. And they're just stapled to the wall. And then I've got my toilet, which is my separate tiny toilet. And that is working fantastic. I have now got the fan installed in that, so that works great. And a tiny little bin at the side of it as well, so put all my bin stuff in there. So then we move on to the bed, which sits over my garage, which I haven't actually done anything with since the day I built that. I was going to put like a separating bit of timber in there with a couple of little foothold steps, but instead I've got an actual step that I use to climb into bed. Which leaves me the full access to the garage open all the time. And that has been invaluable, in all fairness. I can't tell you the amount of times where I've gone, oh, I just want something out of the garage, and I just nip in there, open some of the storage boxes, or get access to my tool bag or something like that. Or even I want to check something electrical out, so I go under there and I've got access to my electrics. Currently my bike is outside on charge, that's why it's not there. So yeah, having that open, I think it's going to stay that way. I may well get something of a better designed, you know, drop down, fold down step or something there, or I might just keep that. It works now. So I like to say I might also find something to cover the IKEA bed frame up, just so it looks a bit neater. Again, sometime in the future maybe. And then the bed, which is still the same IKEA double mattress. I think somebody asked me once what measurement have I got side to side, because my Solway panels that are there do sort of like slightly sort of scoop into the side of the van, even though I've still got around about 35mm of insulation behind there, which is 25mm PIR board, as well as the recycled plastic sort of like insulation as well. So there's a plenty of insulation on both sides, and my bed is about 150 centimeters wide, and it is just 190 in the length of it. So yeah, so quite a spacious double bed. I've got another set of pockets on this side, which I just use to put some things in at night. But my phone sits on one of those magnetic phone chargers there. Diesel heater controls, nice little night light, my max fan controls, and yeah, I'm covered with clothes and everything in. Clothes and towels, and they're all organized in these little sort of like you know, bags, nice and compact, easy to do. And then my rear max fan. So the max fans have been really invaluable, in all fairness. So most of the time in summer, like 30 odd degrees, it isn't really a problem, because you know, you just have that one on bringing air in right over the bed where you're sleeping, and then the front one you have on taking air out, so it takes the hot air back out the van. That helps to suck the air through, and then you get this cycle of air flow through the van, which really cools you down. Just the movement of air can really cool you down. So even though the van might still be like 29-30 degrees inside, I'm sleeping there, I'm not sweating or anything else because there's a lot of air movement over me. So that really helps. So I'm really glad that I chose to do the max fans in this configuration. They've worked out really well. And I've also got another one of these black foam pieces as well, which goes into the rear max fan. So in winter time it's good for insulation, and also it blocks out all the light as well, so don't wake up in the morning in the summer. My rear window still works all right. So you've got both those on the Solway window blinds. More of the Solway panels as well, which again, like I said, from the rest of it, loving the Solway panels. It allowed me to get the perfect finish that I wanted in my van. And obviously these are so thick, I don't know if you can see from there, but they're a few mil thick. So it does mean then that I still have the opportunity to get more of those little shoe pockets and staple them to the back of the van on those panels, and then stow away more stuff, because, you know, isn't that what it's about? Most of that side is bike related stuff. So yeah, that's the same. That's the bike on charge at the moment. And then on this side, I put loads of webbing down that side so that I could store things out of the way. So all sorts of things are in there, just really kind of neatly stored out of the way, kept in place. And then for a bit of tool storage and that, bits and bobs, I've got these really useful boxes. And then when I was building the van, on the floor and the side, I put loads of tie down anchors as well. So everything is sort of tied down nice and securely. My floor matting still totally okay. Obviously when it gets hot it does bow slightly because there's no room on either side for it to expand. And then there's my electrics on that side. So still using one 200 amp hour Renogy. I've got a 60 amp hour Rover controller, as well as a 50 amp B2B slash MPPT controller as well. 2 kilowatt pure sine wave inverter. And then some additions, obviously the fast charge. That box there is the fast charge for my Dabson DBS 2300, which is what I use most of the time for charging my bike or cooking. So that inverter there is sort of like my backup, in all fairness. That system is my 12 volt, my fridge, my diesel heater, charging things via USB, my lights. And this system is my 240. Believe it or not, that pack there has the same capacity, so inverter wise and battery size, almost as all that together. So that is like sort of doubling up, so that's my extra power, and that all works fine. And then I've got a bit of storage in either side over my wheel arches to put extra storage, so there as well, and at the front as well. And then the back, finally, this little bit is my mains hookup charger. So if I do go to site, I've got a mains hookup there, plug that in, and that gives me my charge on site. And basically all I do at night, once I've put everything away in the garage, the bike goes away, there's still enough space in the middle for me to climb through or whatever. One upgrade I did make after doing the original build was this Renogy 1M1 panel. And that shows obviously state of charge. It's got the date and time on there. I can look at my battery condition, my B2B charger or the solar charger, see how many watts of solar are coming in, all that kind of stuff. And that also allows me to connect remotely to my system. So this connects Bluetooth to all the Bluetooth devices, but this also connects to my Wi-Fi so that I can see remotely what condition my battery is and how much solar I'm getting, that kind of stuff. And that's been fantastic. I have not wired in those three buttons yet. One of them is going to be for this light, the other one's going to be for the awning light outside, and I don't know what the other one's going to be, but I'll get around to it. Like I say, there are a few bits that I never got to finish. I never got to finish the way that the ceiling comes down at the sides. I'm not really too fussed about that. For whatever reason, some of the doors that I bought are a bit warped, so they don't clasp together that well. That's fine, it really doesn't bother me. And then over this side is my sort of 4G system, so my Wi-Fi on the go, which uses that little antenna up there, those cables, that's its power, and that just sits there and gives me decent Wi-Fi throughout the van most of the time. The rest of the time, as you've seen from the other video, I've got Starlink. And my ceiling, I put the PIR board in, stuck all that in there, and then I put insulation through the little beams, you know, the metal beams that go, so stuff that with insulation, the recycled plastic bottle insulations up there as well. And then I got 5.5mm ply, which I then glued to the PIR board. And then this finishing sort of ceiling surface, which is about another 5.5mm, that is then glued to that as well. And then these are just sort of joining strips between each sheet of this finishing board. And that's been fine as well. None of it's moved. It doesn't creak or anything like that. So, like I say, there's actually not that many things that changed. The interior of the van, a lot like the outside, you know, mostly went to plan. There were a few things that I think over time I've gone, yeah, they didn't work, like the fridge and freezer. And again, easily to resolve that one, take them out, put a fridge in the place. That's been fine. And then the other one that I've been umming and ahhing over for a while is this table. And like I say, a couple of days ago, I went and sorted that out, went down to Magnum Motorhomes, got this new table leg and everything like that. I'll link in the video description down below to my tabletops, you know, my kitchen worktops, which are kind of like they're all the same thing, they're just chopped down, and the table leg, because it's quite good. And everything else as well that you've seen, you know, if you look at their Max fans or whatever, again, like the tambour door, there's an awful lot of things that I bought from Magnum Motorhomes, and the quality has been fantastic. It's still working, you know, like the doors are still working, hinges and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, very impressed that I was able to go somewhere, have someone with enough knowledge to understand what it was I was doing, help me go through the process of which things are going to work with which, the Solway panels and the Solway windows and everything, they sell them as well. So it's quite nice just to go somewhere as a, you know, novice builder and get everything I want and understand how it's going to work and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, quite happy with that. I got a fit and finish in my van that no way would I have achieved with my woodworking skills. So I'm very happy with the vinyl finishes and the Solway panel finishes and all that. And like I say, after a year now, I think I am, you know, happy with everything. Everything works the way I want it to work. Very comfortable in the van. So here's to a good few more years of going out and enjoying it. As usual, if you have any more questions, please ask in the comments section down below. I'll do my best to answer the questions for you. But yeah, if you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, please hit that subscribe button, and to make sure you don't miss any future videos, ding the little bell next to it and click all, and then YouTube will send you notifications for all my future videos that I put out. So thank you very much for watching, guys. You take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Bye.